Hey, Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Chakodash. Double unto the apostles, bishops, elders of great millstone. Let's Shalom to you brothers in the highways and byways. Doing the work sincerely and faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith, Lord willing. We have found that number to be delivered. Alright? So I'm just going to speak on a quick conversation I had with my son. And for those who don't know, I got twin boys and they're 6 years old. And I was talking to the younger one of the two, so around 8 o'clock or so, we really, start getting him ready for bed. So he was up in the bedroom, and I went in there, go in there, and I chop it up with him a little bit, ask him how his day was, what he learned, what have you. So I stretched out on the bed. He's on one side, I'm on the other, and somehow we got into the conversation of age, right? And he said, in 20 years he'll be 26, what have you. And I said, well, hopefully the Lord will come and get us out of here by then, right? I just threw it out there like that. And he said, Yahweh Shai? I said, yeah, Yahweh Shai. So let me say this too. So we say our prayers every night, and they usually lead the prayer. They'll give, they'll start off with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, please forgive us, and so on and so forth. So they say their prayers, they got it down. And, we rest assured on saying the prayers every night, right? So just to throw that in there. But he had mentioned Yahweh Shai. And I said, yes. He said, well, where is he? I said, he's in the heavens. He stopped, he looked towards me. He said, no, he's in the clouds. I was, immediately my thoughts went to the book of Acts. I said, in the clouds, huh? He goes, yeah, he's in the clouds, Daddy. I said, okay. I said, yeah. I said, you're right. You're right. And he proceeded to say to me, he said, Yahweh Shai said we had to come down here. He said he wanted us to come down here. That's why he put us in mommy's belly. All right. Now, mind you, I don't talk about scriptures around my sons, especially things like that. But this came straight from him. This was all him. He said Yahweh Shai said he needed us to come down here. That's why he put us in mommy's belly. I said, okay. So now at this point, I'm gonna let him talk. So I said, okay, all right, yeah, I understand that. He said, yeah, because when I was 55 years old, and I'm looking at him like, oh, he goes, but I was with Yahweh Shai, and me and my brother had to come down here in mommy's belly. I said, okay. So now at this point, his mother is standing in the doorway, and she's looking with her eyes like, what is he, what is he talking about? So he proceeds to say, hold on. It's locked here. So he proceeds to say that he was with Yahweh Shai when he was 55, but when his mother had came into the room more and was like, she was all frazzled because of what she was hearing him say. So he stopped talking. He kind of closed down. So I looked at her like, just chill. So she got on, she jumped on and, got on, talking, hey, good night, whatever. But, the point being made is this. You got a lot of non-believers out there who truly believe that reincarnation isn't real. All right? For this 6-year-old little boy to tell me that he was with Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai said it was needful for them to come back here, and Yahweh Shai put them in the mother's belly, and he said then mommy had it. And then he said, yeah, that's what he said. He said then we started back at 0. And when he went to go back to the age of, he goes, but when I was 55, and that's when his mother came in. So that's how it went down. It's called, I'm trying to recall it all. It was kind of like, it took me back, because to hear his little voice speak in this manner, it was kind of like, it was shocking, because he never spoke like this before. He said Yahweh Shai is in the clouds, and that Yahweh Shai said he needed him and his brother to come down here. That's why he put us in mommy's belly, you know. And it's funny too because, you know, back, 6 years ago, I had said to Elder Mons, I said, yeah, I said, you know what, brother? I said, Elder, I said, the Lord want them two little spirits here for a reason. That's what I said. And the way he said it tonight, it may not sound as, because it doesn't sound as deep as I say it, but to hear him say it and the way he was going in, he was like in the spirit, But all that being said, I went and got a couple of scriptures, and just to go through a little bit of this reincarnation, man, because it's real. We've all been here before, all right? And those who are in the know understand this. Scoffers and scorners, they don't believe it, so be it. We don't give a damn, all right? Excuse me. This is Revelation 10, and I'm going to jump down to 10 and 11. It says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. All right. So that's John the Revelator. And the angel told him what he was going to be doing. All right. And you understand the history of John the Revelator, and where they placed him was on the island of Patmos, where he ended up dying over on the island of Patmos. All right. And one thing's for sure, on the island of Patmos, there weren't many kings, plural, kings on the island of Patmos. All right. So again, prophesying again before many peoples and nations and tongues. All right. So understanding that John the Revelator was going to be sent back on this planet to do the job that the angel told him he was going to do, prophesy. Right? Let's continue on. This is Job 19. Let me open this up. 19, I'm going to start at 25 and 26. It says, for I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. Right? Speaking of Yahushua. So if he's speaking about the latter days, he was far from the latter days when he made that statement. Verse 26, and it says, though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see the power. Okay? Yet in my flesh shall I see the power. So he is explaining how the present body he's speaking in is going to be devoured by worms, if you will. He's going to be put in the ground. He's going to be buried. Right? 27. Whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another, though my reins be consumed within me. All right? So he's letting you know, not the eyes as he's speaking to you right now, but the eyes when he gets brought back and the reincarnation on the other side. All right. So again, another clear point of an individual in the scriptures talking about being brought back. All right. His body being destroyed. But in the new flesh, he's going to see the power, Yahushua, as he stated, whom I shall see for myself. All right, so it isn't no mystery, man, to those who are in the understanding and in this truth. All right, let's continue. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 32, and this is a quick one. It says, "And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets." How can you explain this? How can you explain this to somebody? Because it's self-explanatory. Believe it or not, the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So if you're a prophet in the ancient time, you're going to be a prophet in the future time. Right? It's like saying The techniques of a auto mechanic are going to be reserved for the techniques to an auto mechanic. In other words, you're going to be an auto mechanic every time you come back in this bad boy. That's basically what the scriptures are saying. If the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets, if you was a prophet at one point, when you come back, you're going to be a prophet again. All right? Very simple. Let's keep it rolling. All right. This is the second Maccabees chapter 7. And I'm going to bounce around a little bit in here because there's a lot of points that are made that gives you clear understanding about reincarnation. All right. So this is second Maccabees 7. I'm going to start at 11. I'm just going right to the points on these ones, right? It says, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and from his laws for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again. And this is when you read up, the brother's talking about his hands. He held out his hands. Okay. Let me see. Let me read it up. So I know there's a couple different incidences. I read at 10. It says, and after him was the third made a mocking stock. And when he was required to put out his tongue in the right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, and said courageously, these I have had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again. All right, so that is the account where the brother held his hands out. But how can he receive them again if he's not going to be brought back on this earth again? You see, a lot of you people just you take what you want from the scriptures, and you're steadfast on the Lord, right? The Lord dying for everybody. You're steadfast on that. You're steadfast on all the kingdoms and all the earth can be saved. Everybody can be saved. And that's all you guys practice. You clearly practice the things you know not of, man. Everybody's not going to be saved. But let's keep it rolling on this point here. All right. So let me jump down to verse 14. And again, these are all points in one chapter that speak about the returning or the reincarnation. Though it doesn't say reincarnation, but understanding what the word reincarnation means. 14 says, so when he was ready to die, he said, thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from the power Yahweh Shai, to be raised up again by him. To be raised up again. So they understood and knew that reincarnation was real. Because if not, they wouldn't make these type of statements. These brothers and the mother would not make these statements that we're reading if they didn't believe in reincarnation or being brought back again. All right. It says, for as for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. All right. But the point being made is to be raised up again by him. All right. Let's jump down to verse 20. And this is the mother right here. It says, but the mother was marvelous above all, and worthy of honor and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with a good courage, because of the hope that she had in the Lord. 21. Yea, she exalted every one of them in her own language, filled with the courageous spirit, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach, she said unto them. 22. I cannot tell how you came into my womb. And again, this also brought me back to what my son said. He said Yahweh Shai needed us to come down here. And he understood the concept that Yahweh Shai did it. And this is what the woman's saying here. It says, I cannot tell ye how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. But doubtless the creator of the world, whom formed the generations of men, and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again. Okay? Give you breath and life again. Now, we speak and say this is exactly what reincarnation is. Being risen up again, being put back on this earth again. Okay? So it's being said in the same manner. Finishing it off. As ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. They didn't give a shit about themselves because they were honoring the law of the Lord. But do you see the points that are being made here? All these statements about receiving life again, receiving breath again, being raised up again, all in conjunction with being reincarnated, being brought back again on the earth. Okay, let's jump down to verse 29 and we'll finish it off on that one. It says, fear not this tormentor, being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. So this same mother is making a statement here. Take thy death, die manfully, that I may receive thee again in mercy. So these very same sons are going to return back to her, Lord willing. Okay? But this comment, this statement that's being made tells you what? That these men are going to be brought back on the planet again. You see how simple it is? A lot of you people have lost your damn minds out here, man. And the Lord just didn't give it to you. He just did not give it to you. And if he gave it to you, he took it away from you. All right? So let's jump around a little bit more here. This is Psalms 104. All right? And I call this the double Dutch scripture. And the reason why I say that, because you got to jump back and forth to really get the understanding of this. All right? So let's go to Psalms 104 and 29. All right? And it says, thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die and return to the dust. All right? So now we get the process of death. The Lord takes away your breath, you die, you get buried in the dust, right? So let's go now. Let's double Dutch it out. This is Wisdom of Solomon. No, Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. And it says, then shall the dust, because we just got through reading, it return to the dust. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Yahweh Shai who gave it. All right? So no matter what you do on this planet, no matter what you do, or how grievous, something may have been, your spirit is going back up to the Heavenly Father, man. That's where it's going. You ain't going to burn in hell and all this other stuff, as it is written. And the spirit shall return unto Yahweh Shai who gave it. Right? So now let's jump back again. Let's go back to verse 30. It says, thou sendeth forth the spirit, because we just got through reading what? The spirit goes back up to the Heavenly Father. Right? Yahweh Shai reclaims that spirit. And when the appointed time is set, verse 30, thou sendest forth the spirit, they are created. Thou renewest the face of the earth. All right? So there you have it, man. And this is just a few scriptures. Just a few. In reading verse 30 again, it reminds me of what my son said. Again, thou sendest forth the Spirit, they are created. He said that Yahweh Shai said he needed us to come down here. And that's why he put us in mommy's belly. And then they were created. Right? And it says what? And thou renewest the face of the earth. Because my son started talking about when he was once 55. And I believe if his mother didn't come in there, he would have kept speaking. But she came in with a look on her face like she done saw, how women, why is he saying, what's he talking, getting all wound up or whatever. But it's real, man. This thing is real. All right. Now, I'm not saying that my sons are somebody special. I ain't saying all that. I'm just saying the conversation that we had for a little 6-year-old. This is what he told me. Right. And may Yahweh Shai, watch over, all of our families, the brothers who are in this thing of ours. All right. So I just wanted to make that quick hit. I don't know what I'm going to title it, but I'll give it something. All right. Lord willing, edifying. I'll say shalom for now.